Hello and welcome back to the Labyrinth of Grisaia, Amane's route. In the last episode, Amane tried to spice up her and Yuji's relationship by trying out new sexual positions, only to find that she believed that they had really discovered and tried almost anything, and went so far as to order an S&M bodysuit off of a magazine's website. Unfortunately, Amane didn't remember to plot in her size and thus brought a very small one. However, it made an affectionate moment between her and Yuji, so in that sense it worked. Yuji then promised afterwards to make the day after a trip to the zoo. Back when they were starting to date, he had promised her a trip to the zoo, just the two of them, but that had been cancelled due to Yuji suddenly getting work. Let's continue. What? This is way too sudden. What do you expect me to say? I'm just asking you to give me a single day off. It's hardly that unreasonable a request. How many times do I have to tell you not to spring these things on me out of nowhere? If you just applied in advance, a day off or two wouldn't be a problem. Wasn't really an option. We only decided on this last night. Well, at the moment there aren't any jobs that we absolutely need you for, and the odds of an emergency are fairly low. But events could always take an unexpected turn, and it is your job to be prepared for anything. If all you do is feed your dog, you'll get your hand bitten eventually. Let him out for a walk every once in a while. It's your job to summarize your agent's complaints and send them up the ladder, right? Lately it's like I'm dealing with Asako when I speak to you. What a nasty feeling. My field techniques aren't the only skills I learned from my master, you know. Manipulating me like this isn't a skill, it's just a dirty trick. Is that a no? I'm telling you, it's just too sudden. I promise I won't turn down the next job that comes my way, no matter what it is. Can't make up your mind, Julia? Might as well just go for it then. Even if you end up regretting your choice, it's better than doing nothing at all. No reason to die sitting around on your ass if you can charge forward and fire off a few shots at the enemy first. That's what they taught us in the Marines. There you go, talking like Asako again. And by the way, we don't have an enemy. This is Japan, remember? Right. We call them hostile actors around here, don't we? You've got a weirdly Japanese attitude about this stuff. Fine then. I'll put a dummy job on your schedule for today. You can at least answer your phone, right? Appreciate it. Sorry for being so unreasonable about this. So, where are you going on this date? East Beach Animal Park. You mean the Palace Zoo? I'm talking about the place Asako took me when I was a kid. Right, it's the East Beach Palace Zoo now. They had a big expansion about 3 years ago and changed the name. Well, it's still in the same place, right? That's where we're headed. Alright, I'll falsify your personal locator data. If anyone from the company calls, just tell them all clear or something. Sorry for the trouble. You owe me one, alright? Don't let it slip your mind. You've got my gratitude. I have to say though... What's so funny? Well, I was just remembering the way Asako abruptly demanded a day off when she decided to take you to that zoo. The situation's practically identical, and you even used the same arguments she did. For some reason, it put a smile on my face. I see. Anyway, go and enjoy that date of yours. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm sure you'll handle this just fine, but for the record, make sure to give Amane-chan your full attention. Yeah. Once we leave Mihama, there's no telling who we might run into. You never know when a lunatic like Sakashita Kaiji might pop up into your life. Don't worry, I'll make sure to keep her safe. Look, that's not what I meant. You're her boyfriend, not her bodyguard. Honestly, you can be so awkward about the strangest things. Amane tells me a bit of awkwardness can be endearing in a man. Honestly, Yuji, do you know what people call guys like you? How would I know? Natural playboys. That does sound familiar. Not sure why, but most of the women around me say the exact same thing. Oh, good grief. Someone's going to fill you with holes one of these days, mister. Don't be ridiculous. Filling holes is the man's job. That's not what I'm talking about, okay? I'm aware. Just a joke. Coming from you, it doesn't even sound like one. Well, whatever. If you don't want to get stabbed, try to show Amane-chan a good time today. Understood. I'll email you further details on our destination and means of transportation. Over. Good luck out there. Not that it's anything new, but I'm certainly causing that woman some headaches. Murmuring to myself a little too loudly, I push my cell phone into my pocket, then squat down and pick up a petal from the ground at my feet. Nice try, punk. I promptly hurl it at one of the shrubs that lines the courtyard. Yowie! Oh, wrong voice. That strangely sexual voice. Is that you, Sachi? Oh, I do apologize. It is I, Sachi, the strangely sexual maid whose bust has grown 2 centimeters as of late. At times, having a girlfriend is something of a curse. I can't offer the natural response, which would be that effect. Let me take a look and cover field. For one thing. And I'm dealing with Sachi here. If I act carelessly and say something like that to her, I've got a bad feeling she'll just say, of course, and immediately expose herself. Sorry about that, Sachi. You weren't hiding very well, so I assumed you were Machina. That's what I assumed as well. Not that it would be any more justifiable for me to throw a rock at Machina, but that girl's nimble enough that I doubt she'd actually let me hit her, and if I did, she probably wouldn't even have yelped. I do apologize. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. Well, it's not like I was trying to keep it a secret or anything. If I was concerned about privacy, I would have chosen a different location to make the phone call. How much did you overhear? I heard you discussing a visit to the zoo, mainly. Yeah, well, that's how it is. I'm going to the zoo with Amane today. I was just getting permission from JB over the phone. Would this be a date? I suppose it would. We're planning to look at some elephants, maybe discuss how grey they are, that sort of thing. I think you should try to expand the conversation beyond the topic of color. I see. We should discuss how striped the zebras are, right? Perhaps it would be best to come up with something other than colors and patterns. On my previous visit to the zoo, Asako dragged me around the place, pointing at the various cages and shouting, "How about that?" My replies were along the lines of, "It's pretty brown," or "It's kind of smelly," or "I bet it tastes good roasted." But apparently I should have put a little more thought into it. Now that I think about it, Asako did get fairly cranky at the time. I should be careful not to repeat the same mistakes with Amane. Incidentally, Sachi, if you were to see a penguin, what thoughts would you express? A penguin? Well, let's see. If it isn't a penguin. That's just stating a fact. In that case, I think I'll see that in my dreams tonight. That makes it sound like you're looking at something terrifying. I do apologize. It would appear that I'm not exactly qualified to criticize you, Kasame-san. Don't let it get to you. I was a fool to expect a normal answer from one of you people. I don't have much experience going on normal dates with a girl my own age, but maybe I'm a little too focused on the normal part of that. After all, Amane is a Mihama student herself. She's used to things being a little more than weird. Maybe I can just follow in Asako's footsteps and take Amane to the zoo's bear habitat. Then shout rude comments at the animals as they're mating, or something. Wonder if they still sell those little sausages you could feed them with. I seem to remember a certain someone hurling a few of those at the happy couple. Then again, it sounds like the zoos change pretty dramatically, so who knows if that exhibit is even around anymore. Meanwhile, in the Mihama Academy dormitory. Okay, done with the bacon wraps asparagus. We got some deep fried chicken with ginger sauce, sweet fluffy omelette stuffed with shrimp and minced fish. And finally, a hearty potato salad with ham, corn, cucumber, carrots, and salmon roe. Yuji does love his potato salad, doesn't he? I'll have to bring lots of this with us.
Oh, you sure seem cheerful this morning, Amane. Something good happened?
Oh, nice timing, Makina. Here, want some fried chicken? Say ah.
Ah! Oh, that's dang good.
Isn't it though? I always choose my ingredients carefully, but this time I was really picky about the oil. Managed to cut way down on the trans fats too. Don't worry, I made some for you as well. Here, why don't you have this for lunch today?
I'm hella grateful, but we don't have school today, you know. Are you going somewhere?
Yep, that's right. I've got today off, and so does Yuji. So he invited me to that zoo we missed out on before.
Oh, hey, good for you.
And on that note, I probably won't be back until this evening. Think you'll be okay?
Yep, I'll hold down the fort. Have fun out there, kid.
Actually, do you want to tag along?
Come on, even I'm not that friggin' brazen. I mean, why would you even suggest that? It's a date. Go spend some quality time with your man.
Well, sure, but...
Good grief, for a total slut, you're sure a wimpy about this stuff. Try having a little self-confidence, why don't you? Here, say ah.
Ah?
There you go. Pretty dang tasty, right?
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Look, Amane, I'm sure you've been through through some rough times, and maybe a snot-nosed punk like me ain't the best person to be giving you a pep talk. But you know what? Onigin knows you're a big old scaredy slut, and he still loves you. So what's the friggin' problem, girl? Don't spend too much time waffling around or he's gonna get sick of your crap. If you love him, then love him. Just go for it.
Is it really that simple, though?
Okay then, why don't you think it over during your date today?
Think what over?
You can start by thinking about what you need to think about, and keep in mind, nothing at all is a perfectly valid answer. What the heck are you staring at my face like that for? You trying to drill a hole in it or what? I've already got plenty, punk.
I was just thinking that you've been saying some surprisingly deep stuff lately. Yes, it must have been my imagination.
Hey there, Amane. I've got permission to take the day off. How are the preparations going?
Right. I finished packing our lunch, so we're good to go.
Alright then, let's depart at 0830 hours.
So that's the story, folks. To be honest with you, I'm pretty concerned.
It seems we're more of a burden on Amane-san's mind than we knew.
Maybe you guys should try not making stupid jokes about stealing her boyfriend. I think that is a big part of the reason she's so timid about this. Well, yeah, I do feel bad about all that. It's just ain't that easy to put our feelings behind us, you know? We're still rooting for them, of course.
We discussed this to death already, haven't we? Susan and Kasame-san may be formally dating now, but it's not like you've lost your connection to either of them. We just need to stop overthinking this and treat them the same as before.
I mean, I understand that in theory, sure. But when I pass Yuji in the hallway, or whatever the thought, oh, that's Amane's man, just pops into my head, and I end up sort of keeping my distance, you know?
Oh, might this be the reason I discovered you wedged between two vending machines in the hallway the other day?
That's right. I saw Yuji walking my way, and I was worried he might get closer, say something to me. I jumped into the first hiding place I saw and got stuck there, so sue me! And by the way, Sachi, you just stood there with your mop staring at me curiously. Couldn't you see I was in trouble? Why the heck did you take so long to help, huh?
Well, I assumed you were playing a peculiar game.
What kind of a game would that be?
Either way, Matsushima-san, surely there's no reason to get that flustered about passing him in the hallway.
Well, Qa'Rajh is a surprisingly possessive lady, you know. If she spotted her boyfriend flirting with some other girl in the hall, she'd probably tie herself to a top rope and rappel down there like a commando. From where? There's no top rope in the hallway.
But if there was one, you'd use it?
Anyway, Yumi-chan, I don't know if you're one to talk. It ain't like you're indifferent to Oren-chan's charms, are ya?
When have I ever done anything to give you that impression?
Whoa, you really want to be asking that? Used to be only shaved your armpits in the summer, but lately it's turned out into a year-round thing.
What?
Betcha I know what that's about. It'd be hella depressing if Onachan saw your pits and went, "What are you, an old lady? It's like a jungle in there, right?"
That's not... I've always groomed myself year-round, thank you very much, and my armpit hair isn't that thick in the first place. Don't let it get to you, Sakaki-san. Such efforts aren't exactly glamorous, but everyone makes them. It's a matter of etiquette, really. Nothing to be ashamed of. Right, that's it. It's just a matter of etiquette. It's not like I'm particularly concerned with what he thinks of me.
Okay then, so tell me, why do you always brush your hair around so much when you're talking to him? Is that a matter of etiquette too?
Huh?
Oh, I sort of know what you're talking about. Lots of girls reflexively brush their hair around when they're talking to a guy they're interested in, right? I think one of Amane's magazines said it's an unconscious attempt to seduce him with the smell of your shampoo.
Oh my, girl, she says, perhaps we've hit the nail on the head. It's not like I had any such intentions, I just...
Ah, come on, don't get all teary-eyed over a little teasing. You'd think we'd be bullying you or something.
But I really wasn't.
Fine, I won't point out that it's kind of worse if you don't even realize you're doing it, okay? Stop crying already. So, why exactly did you call us here again?
Well, it's nothing too important. I merely wanted to discuss Amane-san and Kasami-san's impending date at the zoo. Is anyone else rather concerned about how it will unfold?
Yeah, bet your ass I am! Of course I'm not concerned, and you shouldn't be either. Right, Yumiko?
Huh? Sure, we ought to mind our own business.
Sounds like you're all trying to talk yourself into believing that, but I won't press the issue. Don't want you bursting into tears on me again. Okay then, Satyan, guess we'll head over there by ourselves.
Alright, sounds like a plan, Maki-chan.
Where do you think you're going? Are you seriously going to follow them? Hold on a second.
Wait, if we just let them be. Come on, are you even listening to me? Oh, good grief.
Oh, here we go. Anything led by Makina's example is bound to end in chaos and tears for Michiro.
With Amane behind the wheel of the school's mini-truck, we reach our destination after a bit more than an hour. Fortunately, I haven't gotten any calls from the company or noticed any suspicious vehicles so far. Just to be on the safe side, we took a few aimless detours through narrow residential streets. And at one point I asked Amane to make a U-turn so I could use the restroom in a convenience store we just passed by. But I didn't see anything that led me to suspect an alternating multi-car tail. The sky above is brilliantly clear without a helicopter in the sight. It's perfect weather for a date. I love how they're like, this is normal, and then they're like semi-cheapy looking over here. But I'm pretty sure Yuji knows. Neither of these girls here are very any good at stealth. Well, Makina is decent, but yeah, Michiru is definitely not. To be honest, I've got plenty of experience spending time with women, but with very few exceptions, I was doing so as an extension of my job. I did spend some time playing with a girl at my neighborhood park when I was a kid, at Sachi. But apart from that, this sort of thing hasn't been a part of my private life until now. This kind of brings me back, you know, I think the last time I visited a zoo for a field trip was in grade school.
Yep, I haven't been to one since my master dragged me out here as a kid. Wait, no, I guess I visited the National Zoo in Washington a while ago, when the company had me looking after this 9-year-old girl.
What the heck, are you a babysitter on top of everything else?
Well, sure, if someone requested, I'll do pretty much anything. Cleaning, babysitting, whatever.
On that specific occasion, I think I'd been assigned to protect the family of a witness as part of a plea bargain he'd reached with the government. I guess this was back when you were attending school in America?
That's right.
And that's the last time you visited the zoo?
Yep. Yes, it would be.
The last time you played in the sea was on your way to a school training camp. And the last time you went to a movie theater was a school event too, right?
That's right. It was an extracurricular lesson of sorts. As I recall, our instructors took everyone to see a children's cartoon movie.
I'm finding it kind of hard to imagine what your childhood was like.
Well, it had its moments.
Ah, sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have asked.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I did lose my family when I was very young, and I ended up living a pretty strange life as a result. But at the very least, I had Asako and JB. Asako was an undeniably awkward parent, but she did her damnedest to raise me into a man. And then there was JB, who used to lovingly mutter, "What a brat," every time she saw my face. Not that I can blame her, really. I wasn't exactly a little ray of sunshine. I remember one year on my birthday when JB asked me what I wanted most for a present. For some reason, the condescending way she was smiling down at me ticked me off. So without missing a beat, I replied, "My freedom!" Just to make a jaw drop. Have to admit, that could be pretty obnoxious when I wanted to. What's up? Remembering something funny?
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, my childhood definitely had its moments.
What were you thinking about?
Well, all sorts of things. Anyway, enough about me. What were you like as a kid, Amane?
Not sure what to say, really. I think I was a pretty normal girl. Just the ordinary daughter of a couple who owned a restaurant. My parents started work early and stayed late, so I think they didn't have that much time to spend spoiling me. Oh, but when the restaurant wasn't open, they did take me places. We used to visit the amusement park all the time, actually. Of course, I used to spend most of my time there in the bumper cars or the go-karts. Even back then, I always wanted to be in something with tires and wheel, you know. According to my dad, I loved cars ever since I was a baby. When they were little, babies tend to cry in the middle of the night for no real reason, you know, like really loudly. It sounds like I had a particular good set of pipes, and the sleep deprivation was starting to make my mum super cranky. So when I really got going, Dad would take me out of the house and walk around for a while. One night I just wouldn't stop bawling, and that was kind of at the end of his rope. So he carried me over to the mini truck he used for work and started driving around aimlessly. And for some strange reason, I stopped crying pretty much instantly. So after that, Dad would take me out to the truck every single time I started crying at night. Apparently it worked like a charm.
A car-loving baby. That's peculiar, alright.
Honestly, I never really thought of myself as weird, but when I flip through family items, I'm holding a wheel in most of the photos. And it was always my dad who took those snapshots, so I don't have many pictures with him. Oh, but I do have this photo of Dad when he was young. Here, take a look. Taking out the diary, Amane retrieves a photograph from between two of its pages. It depicts a menacing young man with a pompadour standing with his arms folded in front of a red sports car. What do you think? Pretty cool, right?
Well, I'm not sure cool is the word I'd use, but that's one hell of a pompadour he's got there. Didn't know your dad was a juvenile delinquent.
Ah, no, not Dad. The car behind him. Isn't it awesome? That's a Camry. I mean, it's just a GTX. He dressed up with a rear spoiler and over fenders to make it look like an R-Series, but still.
This is all Greek to me, you know.
Wonder if Amane inherited her interest in old cars from her father. When I was a kid, Dad and I would sometimes drive to the morning market in this car instead of a mini truck. The engine was really noisy, the interior reeked of gasoline, and it rode so low he had to drive around manhole covers. The thing was so beaten up that the trunk used to pop open on its own when he rounded the corner too fast. Still, I really loved that pile of junk, you know. Dad made me swear I wouldn't tell Mom about this, but every once in a while he'd put me on his lap while he was driving and let me hold the wheel or change the gears. For some reason it had reverse where normal cars put the low gears, you know. Second and third were on a straight line, so you could switch back and forth really easily on steep mountain roads. It was such a fun car.
You're using past tense. Does your dad not drive it anymore?
Yep. We still had it back when I was in grade school, but one day I came home and realized it was gone. When I asked Dad what had happened, he told me he sold it because the maintenance costs were too high. Isn't that awful? He didn't even talk it over with me first.
It was his car, right?
Anyway, Dad said he was going to buy a light, small hatchback to replace it, but then brought a KP61 home, of all things. He really is kind of a moron that way.
Not sure I completely follow, but sounds like you love your dad as much as you love cars.
Yeah, I guess I'm a bit of a daddy's girl. How did we get on this topic anyway? Who comes to the zoo and talks about cars instead of looking at animals? Sheesh.
What's wrong? Embarrassed I found out how much you love your dad?
I know, Yuji. Let's go see the hippos.
Why the hippos?
I don't know, because they're close. Also, looking at hippos kind of remind me of this HSV series, you know? But maybe that's just me.
What are you even talking about?
Okay guys, seriously, we took a train out here just to follow these two, but it looks like they're really just having a normal date.
It would appear so. Amane-san certainly seems to be in unusually high spirits. I told you so. There is no need for us to worry about them.
Okay, but this is Amane we're talking about, you know? Too much happiness actually stresses her out after a while. She might snap and start screwing his brains out in front of the lion cages. I really doubt that. It's broad daylight and there's tons of people around. You never know. That slutty brain of hers might decide that the shame and humiliation might make the sex feel even better.
I don't think I've ever heard of compulsive self-harm taking such an obscene form.
All I'm saying is, you never know. The other day, I saw Amane burst into tears just looking at a snail on a leaf of a flower. It's impossible to tell what's gonna set it off, you know.
Amane-san is something of a stoic type, so it can be difficult to tell when her mood is abruptly changed. Perhaps it's too early to draw any conclusions.
The problem with Amane is that she always looks normal at a glance. What? Ah, crap! Huh? What? Something wrong? I just met eyes with Oni-chan in the reflection on that shop window. I think he knows we're tailing him.
Oh, really now? It was probably just a visual illusion of some sort.
You're so freaking naive, Yuma-chan. It might look like the dude's just enjoying his date, but he ain't letting down his guard for 1 second. They're heading over to the giraffes, guys. What now? Should we keep following them?
What shall we do? If they're already aware of our presence, we could just walk over and casually greet them.
But I don't really want to interfere with the date, you know?
Then maybe you shouldn't have tailed them in the first place.
Oh, okay, look. The lecturing might be more effective if you hadn't tagged along with us.
Michiru-sama, please show a little empathy. Although Sakaki-san pretends to be a noble unicorn with no interest in us lowly horses, at heart she is simply a lonely girl who hates to be left out. Look here, Kumina-san.
Well, anyway, let's just keep an eye on him for now.
Of course, Yuji. We are being followed, and our tails happen to be remarkably incompetent. Yeah, that was pretty much what I was saying. It didn't take long for me to notice them. Under these circumstances, I had a pretty decent idea of who might be following Amane and me around, so when I used a reflective shop window to get a look at our pursuers, I wasn't exactly surprised to see the familiar faces of our Miyahama Academy classmates.
Good grief, those people have too much time on their hands.
Huh? What, did you say something?
Don't mind me, just talking to myself.
Oh, well, let me know if you don't like the food, okay?
It's delicious, as always. Your skills continue to impress.
Thanks. Our classmates worry too much. They're not good at minding their own business, and they get lonely far too easily. But apparently they don't intend to actively interfere with our date. We've settled down on a nice grassy spot to eat our lunch, but there's no sign of them trying to join us. They're just watching from the shadows. Seemingly unaware of our friend's presence, Amane reaches into her lunchbox, retrieves a rice ball, and takes a big bite. There's an expression of sheer bliss on her face. With the chopsticks in her left hand, she grabs herself pieces of fried chicken. With the right hand, she carries rice balls to her mouth. After stuffing her cheeks with food like a squirrel preparing to hibernate, she chews away merrily. Every once in a while, she pauses to slurp at the vegetable soup in her thermos. It's obvious how much she's enjoying every bite of her meal. What's up?
Oh, nothing. Oh, just impressed by your gusto.
Really? Well, I do love to eat. In this instant, I'm pretty sure Amane is not thinking about anything except that food. She's forgotten all about her troubles and the pain she's experienced. The only thing on her mind is the meal in front of her. When she's eating food or making love to me, I think the past temporarily loosens its grip on Amane. I've never been one to pay too much attention to the quality of my food, and I'm not much of a big eater in general. But seeing Amane like this both relaxes me and stimulates my appetite. Might be one of the reasons I've grown so dependent on her presence in my life. Once she's emptied her lunchbox entirely, Amane slaps her hands together happily in front of her chest. Maybe I shouldn't be singing my old praises, but that really hit the spot.
Well, we've had lunch now. What next?
We've seen the lions, elephants, and giraffes, and the polar bears and penguins. Maybe it's time for the monkeys? Opening the pamphlet they gave us at the entrance, I checked the little map inside.
Looks like the Monkey Mountain is on the east side of the zoo, area E3. We should be able to see Hanako, the gorilla, and a monkey magic show starring Monkichi the chimpanzee and his trainer, Miss Sumiri.
Oh, that sounds great. Let's take our video with our phones and show it to Makina later.
Sure, why not?
Of course, you'll probably be following along once we start moving. Oh wait, the show doesn't start until 3 this afternoon, does it?
Seems you're right.
No point in hurrying over right away then. Why don't we rest up a little first?
Sounds good to me.
Come here, Yuji. Let's do the lap pillow thing.
It's bad manners to lie down right after a meal, you know.
Lap pillow, lap pillow! An invitation from a woman is a lot like a matter of national security. You don't really have the right to refuse. No! Oh! Oh, that's adorable. Even if you can't see the expression on Yuji's face, you can just... His whole body language is saying like that he's smiling. How do you like that? Feels good, right?
Yeah. You make a nice squishy pillow.
And on that note, I will... There we go. New thumbnail. Squishy?
You've gotten a little more meat on your bones lately, haven't you?
You think? My weight hasn't really changed.
Don't worry about it. I kind of like things that way.
Okay, could you not pinch my belly flap while you're saying that?
You're my woman. That means your belly's mine too. I can pinch it if I want to.
Good. This is kind of humiliating.
Listen, I'm saying I like it this way. I'm not trying to lose any weight, alright? I won't be happy if those magnificent breasts shrivel up.
So it's all about the boobs, huh?
That's just how men are, my dear.
Don't have to sound so proud of yourself. Those two are getting awfully comfy all of a sudden.
A pap willow, eh? Not bad, Amane.
You mean lap pillow, Maki-chan?
That's a privilege reserved for the most pleasantly plump of ladies. I'm hella envious.
You mean envious, Maki-chan? How much longer are we going to keep following them around anyway? Surely we've seen enough. I'm getting hungry.
What the heck? I gave you some of my lunch, didn't I? Look, of course that one tiny lunchbox wasn't enough for 4 people.
I noticed a shish kebab shop next to the sheep pen. Shall we go purchase some?
Shish kebab? What?
It's kebab. They chop cattle, birds, and sheep into tiny pieces, stick their flesh into skewers, and then roast them over a roaring fire.
Do you have to make it sound so nasty? Please don't tell me they make them out of the sheep from that exhibit.
Quiet. You're talking too loudly. They're going to notice us.
For all your complaints, you seem really into this, you say. Raising my voice like this just made me feel even hungrier.
Would you care for a kebab?
Enough of that!
The zoo. A place that encourages its young visitors to dream, but also teaches them how cruel reality can be. And once they've learned the sobering truth behind the words survival of the fittest, the children return home with a newfound sense of maturity in their hearts. Sounds like a zoo designed to traumatize weak-willed children.
This place is owned by your family's company, you know.
Okay.
Go yourself, lady. Man, it's so hot. I want to eat some nice cold Chinese food.
So that was Michiru's stomach. So, despite Michiru pretty much arguing loudly with Sachi, that couldn't be heard. But Michiru's stomach? Oh, that's a different league on its own. That girl is crazy. Huh? What was that sound? I wonder if it was one of the animals or something. What do you think, Yuji? Yuji? Did you fall asleep? Hey, Yuji! Oh, jeez, you really did nod off. Pretty unusual for him to fall asleep with this many people around. Yuji is about as wary as a wild animal, so he doesn't tend to doze off in public places. He's also a really light sleeper in general, and his eyes usually pop open the instant I say something to him. I don't get many chances to see him conked out like this. Even on the nights when he seems to be sleeping soundly at first, he'll often start tossing around and wake up covered in sweat. I'm willing to bet it's got something to do with his past, the same way it did for me back when I had the same problem. But right now he's sleeping quietly on my lap with a completely peaceful expression on his face. I guess he's really come to trust me. It makes me a little happy to know that. They really are siblings, huh? He looks a lot like Kazuki when he's sleeping. I'm not sure when this was exactly, but Michiru once asked me when I fell in love with Yuji. At the time I wasn't really sure myself, so I told her it just snuck up on me. But by now I think I know the real answer. I wasn't really that crazy about Yuji at first, but I think it's fair to say he was on my mind from the moment we met. First of all, there was his appearance. That sleepy, almost dopey gaze, the listless way he narrowed his eyes in annoyance, it was all very familiar to me. Specifically, it reminded me of Kasami Kazuki. I was genuinely shocked the first time I laid eyes on Yuji. I'd been combing marking his hair at the time, unfortunately, and in my surprise I ended up yanking the brush way too hard, causing the poor girl more than a little discomfort. You know, his hair even feels like Kazuki's when I stroke it. Come to think of it, I did the same thing with her a few times, didn't I? Kazuki had a habit of taking a nap at the exact same time every afternoon. According to her, her brain needed its daily downtime to recharge itself. But she used to nod off while sitting or even standing up, and it absolutely drove me crazy. For lack of a better solution, I ended up offering her the use of my lap. Unlike her brother, Kazuki slept so soundly I'd almost think she was dead. But sometimes she'd drool on my knees or sleepily shove her hand up my skirt. That was weird enough, of course, but every once in a while she'd even hook her fingers around my underwear and try to pull it off. So I remember wondering if she was unconsciously seeking a little intimacy. When I asked Kazuki about it, she just told me, I'm the type of girl who feels more at ease with a hand under her pillow. Which sort of made sense, but it didn't seem quite that relevant to the issue at hand. Kazuki really was cute, though. Wait, that came out a little wrong. Just for the record, I'm no lesbian. I really don't want anyone getting the wrong idea. It's not like I turned to Yuji as an outlet for my feelings towards Kazuki. I didn't fall for him just because he looks like his sister, you know? I mean, well, sure, I guess it was the initial reason I developed an interest in him. But it's not like that's enough of a reason to actually love someone. Huh? Wait, in that case, when did I fall in love with him? Okay, let's start over from the very beginning. What was it about Yuji that I fell for anyway? I guess his appearance was part of it, sure. And then there's his ultra sundara personality. He comes off as cold, but he's actually really kind. Those girls eat that stuff up, you know. When a guy who's usually kind of mean suddenly treats you nice, your heart just naturally skips a beat. I know it's silly, but I can't help falling for it. Talk about simple-minded. Still, is that really all there is to it, Amane? That's right. There's one more thing I love about Kasami Yuji, and it's probably the most crucial of all. Namely, the fact that he's a complete sadist. Ah yes, sadism. There's nothing else that tickles my heart in such a simple, primitive way. When was it again? One day I tried to sneak up on Yuji from behind and surprise him. But just as I got within a meter, he turned around so suddenly it felt like he'd known all along, and his face looked so much like Kazuki's that my heart nearly stopped beating. As I stood there dumbfounded, Yuji proceeded to grab my head, iron claw style, and say, "What do you think you're doing, woman?"
What? Hold on, that hurts. Is this guy for real? He's squeezing my poor little head as hard as he can.
Oh no, this man's gotta be a total sadist. And thus, even as this sadistic male Kazuki roughly gripped my head, I felt my lady parts trembling with unexpected pleasure. Oh crap, just remembering this is getting me a bit tingly. Lots of stuff happened after that, of course. My feelings grew little by little, and before I knew it, I realized that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. At some point it occurred to me that I'd lose my connection to Yuji once I graduated from Yama, and for some reason the thought of never making him another meal actually made me tear up a little. I told myself I just wanted to be convenient for him, and I thought that was all I needed, but all of a sudden I couldn't even bear the idea of being parted from him. What a nice breeze. It's weird. Time really flies when you're doing nothing at all. Kasami-san appears to have fallen asleep.
You know, I think this might be the first time I've seen Yuji sleeping.
Now that you mention it, that's true for me as well. Well, Kasami-kun grew up under rather unusual circumstances. I imagine he isn't especially comfortable letting people see him in a defenseless state.
But he's totally defenseless right now, right?
It just goes to show how deeply he trusts Susan, or how safe he feels around her. Indeed, I doubt Kasami-san could sleep so peacefully on the lap of any other woman. And look at Amane-san's expression as she gazes down at him. Sheer tranquility. But, despite her serene smile, there's a hint of melancholy in the furrow of her brow. This is the man she wishes to live the rest of her life for, and she knows there can be no one else.
Yeah. It almost feels like we're looking at something holy, doesn't it?
I'm deeply ashamed.
Ashamed? Of what?
Up until now we blamed our defeat on her oversized bosom or her aggressively sexual sales tactics. Perhaps we even told ourselves that he simply wasn't too fond of maids. Or worse still, that men always go for big-breasted, dim-witted bimbos. Bitter as they might sound, those thoughts have lingered in the corners of our minds. But just look at those two, everyone. At the very least, as I am now, I couldn't possibly take Amane-san's place in that tableau.
Look, I know what you're saying, okay? Yuji picked Amane because she's Amane.
I must apologize. I don't quite understand what you're trying to say, Michiyo-sama.
Why not? Can't you figure it out? Pick up on the nuance or whatever.
Hey, stop thrashing around. You're hitting my butt with your knee.
Sorry. Wait, your skirt's riding up, Yumiko.
What?
Don't be so loud. They're going to notice us. Come here, I'll fix it for you.
Oh, for crying out loud. Why me? A pale blue, eh? Keep your eyes to yourself.
Seriously, inside voices.
I'm feeling rather exhausted all of a sudden, and honestly, it doesn't look like those two will be moving anytime soon. Why don't we just call it a day?
Yeah, I think I'm good. They seem happy and all.
I do agree. In many ways, I'm glad I had the opportunity to see them like this.
Let's head home then. Yeah.
Maki-chan?
Hey? What's up? Oh, jeez, Makita. Are you crying? I'm not crying. Then why are tears rolling down your cheeks? What the heck happened? Huh? You're right. Why am I crying all of a sudden? That's weird.
Irisu-san, did you feel that strongly about Kasami-kun?
Nah, it ain't that. It's just... well, I don't know. When I saw them like that, I thought, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. That's all it was, but my chest started hurting a little and I started feeling kind of lonely. I don't get it. I really am happy about this, but before I knew it, this weird fluid was leaking out of my eyes.
Maki-chan. I'm sorry, Sakaki-san. Would you mind lending Maki-chan your jacket? I'm wearing a maid uniform, so... Yes, that's fine. Here you are. Thank you very much. Here, Maki-chan.
Huh? Wait. Aren't you gonna put the jacket on her? Why would you bunch it up and hold it to her face?
Now then, cry your heart out. Huh?
Ah!
Wait, you were just using it to muffle her sobs. Go on, Maki-chan. Let it all out. The more you cry now, the more you'll smile tomorrow. Stop trying to wrap this up neatly. My jacket. Oh, poor Yumiko. Don't blow your nose on it. Ah, Yuji, did you wake up?
Thought I heard some weird animal cry from somewhere or other. What the heck was that?
Good question. I've been hearing a bunch of odd sounds for a while now, actually.
Well, I guess we are in a zoo. Anyway, how long was I asleep?
Oh. About 10 minutes, maybe?
I see.
Did you get enough rest?
Yep, I'm feeling a lot better. You make a fine lap pillow, Amane. What's so funny?
Kazuki said the same thing to me once, a long time ago.
Ah,
Want to go see those monkeys?
sure. Let's do that.
Upsy-daisy, huh?
Something wrong?
Nope, nothing at all, really. I bet that she can't really use, that her feet have gone limp from the pressure that Yuji's head have applied to them. Nope, nothing at all, really.
You're not very good at lying, Amane. Your legs are numb, aren't they?
That's not true at all. I've never had a problem sitting on my legs or anything, you know?
Oh,
Yowie! Hey!
what's wrong? That was just a light kick. Nothing to worry about given that your legs are numb. Here.
Oh! Yuji, you're mean. You're so mean. Why? You should be trying to comfort her. Also, I love that little lion and up in the back like, what you doing?
What's all this then? Why'd you fall down? Here, I'll help you up.
Yeah, wait, I'm fine. I can get up on my own. Stay back.
Don't say such sad things. I only want to help you, Amane. Whoops. Sorry about that, Amane. Tripped over my own feet.
You did that on purpose, right? You totally did that on purpose.
Of course I did. Here, have another for the road.
Yeah, stop. Don't kick me there. No.
You're trembling like a newborn fawn, my dear.
Stop it. Jeez, you're such a sadist, Yuji. Is it really that fun to torment me?
Do you really want to know? Well, this is my answer.
He's such a sadist. I can't get enough of that sleepy, disinterested gaze. It's like he's looking at a piece of trash.
Amane, my friend, you truly are a hopeless masochist.
Oh crap, I'm so turned on I think I might wet myself. What if I make a mess right here? Yuji would get angry, right? He'd be disgusted with me, right? He'd glare coldly down at me, right? Well, that's it. At the moment, I'm not quite ready to start doing stuff like that in public. In the end, we enjoyed a pleasant and conventional ending to our date, then returned safely to the Mihama Academy dormitory. Gotta know when to delay your gratification, right? And that's where we'll end this episode. So we shall see what comes of it. What comes of the aftermath of this, because obviously Yuji isn't one for being tailed. He wants answers, and as you can probably imagine, he is pretty good at getting those answers. Well, we shall see what interrogations lie in wait for the rest of Mihama Academy, but we will do that in the next episode. So until then, take care.